You're listening to Sorry for Asking.
Sorry for asking. I'm Cole Connor.
And I'm Adam Ramzi. This is where we talk shop, ask questions,
Tell stories, and laugh some laughs about being creators.
as well as consumers of adult content we love watching too.
We certainly do. We also discuss the impact adult films have had on us
On our guests.
and on the LGBTQ community.
So strap on and strap in.
And here we go.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hello, hello, hello.
How's it going?
It's definitely going.
It's going. I'm Adam Ramzi.
I'm Cole Connor.
Welcome back to Sorry for Asking.
Yeah.
And before we get any further, I want to say happy almost birthday, Cole.
Aww.
We are upon your birthday weekend.
The summer solstice.
The summer solstice. There's so much happening.
So there's probably another solstice party coming up.
Actually, by the time this airs, the solstice party will have happened. We decided to do it a few days early, so we're doing kind of a 1-year anniversary on June 14th. Today is the 18th. Welcome to the show. And tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to be throwing you and Brogan a little birthday party.
Maybe we'll eat some cake out of your boyfriend's ass.
Well, currently he is not booked for tomorrow night, but we will be booking some hotties.
Well,
Don't you worry about that.
We'll eat some cake out of some cake.
Out of somebody's cake, for
cake
sure.
will be eaten.
I'm so excited for today. I feel like we have a lot to talk about. We've had a lot has happened for you these past this spring.
A lot. I've had like a couple content trips, starting with Nashville, which
Okay.
was great. Milo Cyrus, who
Hold on.
who lives.
Milo Cyrus.
Milo Cyrus is his name. He's a creator on the newer side.
Okay.
He and his husband have a house in like outside of Nashville on like 10 acres, so we could do lots of outdoor stuff. We had like a campground. We did a big tent orgy scene. It was super fun. I got to see, it was Rick and Griff were there, who I haven't worked with in a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in forever.
And Paco Colombiano and Parker Nolan was there.
Oh, okay.
It was a really juicy bunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who organized that?
I think it was the second time they've done a content house there. So it was Milo, and he has a husband that lives with him there that isn't a creator. So, but he films a lot for us.
Okay.
So, and he's also really sexy.
I would hope so.
So, but the first night I got there, we were eating Chinese food, takeout, and the leftovers were up there on the counter. And at some point, we're sitting around an island. I'm eating out of a bowl, kind of holding it off of the table because there wasn't like enough room on the island.
Uh-huh.
And I like go to take a bite, and it's the ceramic bowl slipped out of my hand, crashes on the corner
Oh my God.
of the island, breaks, falls to the ground, shatters on the ground at my feet. Unbeknownst to me, it has like sliced my toe open. I didn't feel it, so I'm just focused on cleaning it up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
I'm grabbing paper towels, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm like looking on the ground, and everybody is like, it looks like I also dropped a bottle of like Frank's Red Hot.
Oh my God.
And it's not Frank's Red Hot, it's my blood gushing out of my fucking toe. So it's just all over the place. They're like, please stop, just sit down. Just sit on the floor, elevate your foot. And I'm like, guys, it's fine. It's like, it doesn't hurt, blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, it's really deep. It's like really, and it's just like all over. They were wrapping up my foot. It's just bleeding and bleeding. I'm like sitting on the couch. I'm trying not to get blood on anything, and their house is nice too. I'm like,
Wow.
I'm trying not to ruin anything, and they're like, no, I think maybe he needs to go to the hospital. I'm like, guys, I don't need to go to the hospital. It's like 1 a.m. And I'm like, this is our first night. I'm making a really great impression on the people that I have not met yet. So, and then I'm like, the adrenaline from it happening and it breaking and like all the chaos was like keeping me going. And then as I'm sitting there and I'm like get up to go to the bath, I try to get into the shower to like rinse it, clean it off. It's bleeding all over the shower and the bathroom, and it's just making a bigger mess. And I finally like lay it down, and they're like, "No, I think we." And then I'm getting woozy because I've lost a lot of blood.
What the
and I'm
hell?
like, I'm like, okay, yes, I will go to the hospital.
Did you actually?
We went to the ER.
Oh my
They
God.
Stitched up my foot.
I was really waiting for this story to take the turn of it turning into some kind of gangbang or something. Like,
no, it turned into me in the hospital for 2 hours.
Cole, when are you going to stop getting injured?
I don't know.
What is happening?
That was like the first. So I've had a little run of bad luck
Golly.
since we last talked about me.
Jeez, your arm? Your arm was injured?
Hold on, that's
all
coming.
right,
That's
all right.
coming. And that's like the least of the problems. So anyway, yeah, I got 4 stitches in my toe. I was a trooper, made it through the rest of it. Like, that was fine. I redeemed myself. It wasn't like a big deal.
Okay.
I was like, I'm glad I knew that I already knew half of the people in that house going into it, so they know that I'm not a complete mess. I'm just a slight mess.
Well, just kidding.
Depends on the day. But yeah, so that was Nashville. But the stuff we filmed there is great. I can't wait to release it on my pages. It's gonna be great.
So who in the group sprang to the most action to take care of you? I feel like I have an idea who it might have been, but I just want to make sure.
You know, actually, it was the husband.
Oh, really?
Well, Paco Colombiano was first, but like as I was getting woozy and like I started getting nauseous too and like throwing up.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, and I was like, please just shut me. They didn't want me to like fall and like hit my head on something and make it worse. So they wouldn't leave me alone in the bathroom. I'm like, I just want to be in the bathroom by myself. Can I just like? I'm like, let me. And I don't know. So
they're like, no, bitch. This is a liability at this point.
I know. And the husband was like, who I wasn't getting like a read on him, like he was interested at all. Like I felt like he was just kind of like, oh, this guy's like, I didn't think he was into me at all.
Okay.
But then he was like, this was happening, and he was like holding me and hugging me and like being very like gentle and like taking care of me in that moment. And I was like, oh. And so it actually made me feel more accepted and welcome there.
That's nice.
So it was really, so thank you guys if you guys are listening. Sorry about that first night.
Butterfingers over here with the bowl of Chinese food.
I know, I love my Chinese.
I also struggle to ask for help in those situations.
Yeah,
it's a little embarrassing. It's a little scary, and you don't want to make a scene, but also, I mean, like if that happened to somebody else, would you have sprung forward and been helpful, or would you have been like, this messy motherfucker? Or maybe a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, but I definitely would have helped, but I definitely would have been. And I was talking to Parker Nolan about this because it was the first time I was meeting him, and I'm like, thank you for not judging me from that first night. I'm like, because I mean, I've been in content houses where like someone is messy, and I'm like, it kind of makes you not want to work with them.
Yeah.
And so luckily it was it smoothed over.
Similar situation. I like one of the things that I have a problem with, I mean, this is not nearly the same as an injury, but I tend to lose things a lot. I can be a little absent-minded, and I hate it when that happens, especially when I'm in a group with like a group of people, because then everybody else is like trying to help me look for this thing, and I just want to crawl into a hole and die, because it's just like, I hate burdening people with that. But if I'm with a friend who loses something, I'm like, we're gonna find it. Where was the last time you saw it? We're gonna look under here. We're gonna look under there. I like spring.
Detective.
Yeah, because you know what it is. I kind of like, especially in situations like that, I like to be the hero. Like there's been so many times where I found friends' phones because I'm just like, oh, you lost your phone? Okay, here. What's your password for your iCloud? We're gonna find you on Find My Friends. We're gonna
God.
But when it happens to me, I'm like, oh God, I'm the worst. Please.
I have a story about a phone. This happened at the Grabbies. Or no, it was like a Market Days, and it was my friends Colin and Josh that live in Chicago have a boat, and we went out, and Ian Holmes was on it too. There were a bunch of us on the boat. We filmed stuff there, and then they took us to the place out on Lake Michigan where you can like anchor your boat and like put floaties out and like swim in the water and everything.
I love those days.
And we're like, Ian Holmes is like filming something on the edge of the boat on the back, and he's got his phone, and it like I'm standing pretty close to him, slips out of his hand,
of course,
right into the water. I see it. I dive right where it went, and I'm like, I dive underneath it. I'm like under the water, and I come up and I see it like kind of like floating down, and I grab it and I pop back up.
That is heroic.
I know.
And that feels so good.
I know. I felt like such a savior.
Yes.
You know?
My God. How could you see it? Like
it's clear.
Is it pretty clear?
It's pretty clear there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could see the bottom. So if it went down to the bottom, you.
Okay.
But
well,
I mean, it was deep, but you could see it. It's not ocean water. It's Lake Michigan.
I mean, my memory of Lake Michigan in Chicago is that it's huge. It almost looks like the ocean. But
anyway, I guess in this place where you can anchor the boat.
Gotcha.
I forget. It's called like the play area or something like that.
The play area. Of course it is.
I probably got that wrong.
Wow. So what was your favorite scene that you shot in this Nashville content trip?
So you know, Rick and Griff like make a production out of everything.
I sure do.
So we did this. They had this campsite. They set up this big, 12-person tent and like hay barrels around it and a campfire. And they put blankets over the hay so we could do stuff there. But we get there and we're like, we know that it's starting to drizzle and we know that like a rainstorm is coming, but we're going to shoot this thing anyway. And it's a little muddy on the ground, but like while we were outside before we go in the tent, it's like a very light drizzle and it's very pretty, and like we're all like doing oral and like starting to fuck in this like nice little rainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll be really pretty.
Nice.
And then
that sounds beautiful.
Next time we did something at that same campsite that we just put 2 slings up, and that was a fun time. I was in the sling for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love an outdoor sling. Love it.
Milo Cyrus has this thick, fat dick that I finally could take when I was in the sling at the end on the last thing we shoot. But
okay.
God, I kept trying.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else? You have some more. I feel like you, since we last had a little catch-up session, you've had a few travels. You had Nashville.
So I went to. Oh well. Let me talk about the Say Uncle and where I'm sporting the.
Oh yes, the trailer dropped just recently.
The trailer dropped for Sexerence.
Oh my God. Based
on Severance. So.
I watched that trailer. You were actressing. you were like you were the concerned one among them. Like, you gave facial expressions, honey.
So I was a stepdad. Obviously, with Eddie Patrick, the other stepdad, and Nick Michaels and Gage Palmer are our stepsons. But while we're outside, we know that we're stepson and stepdad. But when we're innies, we don't.
That's the twist. I was wondering how they were going to mix a Severance storyline with a stepdad stepson storyline.
I was too, but I guess we did it.
Okay, all right.
That's how. And it was really funny because I got to play like, what's her name? I got to be like 3 different characters from the show in one.
Your innie gives great pleasure to his stepdad's penis.
What's her name?
Oh, your outie. Sorry. I don't remember. Her real name was Gemma. Miss Casey.
I got to be like, your innie loves a dominant man. Like, so shit like that.
You're outie.
You're outie.
Yeah.
So that
wow.
was,
Can you remember some more? I want to know the lines. Your outie. Your outie gave his first hand job at age 6. to his step
Hold on.
uncle.
If we pause for 1 second and you
Yes.
know to cut this out, I'll find the script real quick.
Okay, I'm into that.
Okay. Okay. I have some.
Okay,
Ready?
yeah.
Okay. But I get to do the whole like, what I'd like to do is share some facts about your Audi. Like, please try to appreciate everyone equally. That shit.
Okay.
And not show that you like anything more than the other. So your Audi loves having his hair stroked by a gentle, firm authority figure.
Okay.
Your Audi likes the sound of a deep voice saying, "Good boy."
Who doesn't?
Your Audi values reciprocity. Your Audi enjoys exhibitionism and the thrill of being caught. Your Audi has exceptional endurance. Your Audi is very, very thirsty.
And how are these characters reacting to this news?
Well, no, I mean, like, he sometimes he like chuckles or something, and you're like, "I'm sorry, the session will end if you don't."
Wow. Damn.
Like, it's like, yes, please try to appreciate all the facts equally.
Don't tell me how to feel.
Which she says in the show.
Yeah.
And
Does she actually?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she's
That's
like,
funny.
"Or the session will end." The wellness session.
Jeez.
So anyway, that was a fun shoot. But at one point, so Gage Palmer is my innie, or my innie's stepson.
Gotcha.
Or I guess, yeah, both of them. So during our sex scene, he's sucking my dick, and I like bring his face up to kiss him, and I spit in his mouth, which we did not talk about. That was not one of his things.
Oh, did he get mad?
He didn't get mad, but he just got like, I saw his face like it sickened him, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And like, and he kind of like got up and walked away for a second.
No.
And then he came back and just like kind of like shook it off and got back into it. But I was like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know that was gonna be like a thing."
Whoa. Oh, I hate moments like that on set.
Oh, so.
Have you had a lot of moments like that on set where like there's
I
like
guess
a
I'm just
clear
so
disconnect?
I guess I'm so used to like that being okay.
Well,
Spitting.
I don't mean spitting necessarily. Well, first of all, I didn't know you were into the spitting thing.
I didn't.
Not everybody
either.
is.
Not everybody is. I just didn't know. I'm
You
like,
just had an
know,
instinct.
you're
You were like,
playing
I just want to spit in this
you're
person's
playing
mouth.
into the stepdad thing, and it's kind of like,
Because whose stepdad hasn't spit in their mouth
Of
in the past
course.
before when you're giving them a blowjob?
when you're a stepdad,
No,
you
but
spit
this,
in mouth.
but this is an interesting topic of conversation for this podcast. Like when you have a moment like that, when you know clearly that you are not connecting with your scene partner, even if it's just for a moment, it really does take the wind out of your sails. I hate that feeling. It's happened to me a few times.
Yeah.
There's actually been, I want to say, 2 separate scenes in my past. Both of them were with Titan, where we had to kill the scene midway through.
Ooh.
Because it just was like not happening. Once because of my scene partner, like they just kind of like had to disappear for a little while. When they came back, they were like, "You know what? I don't know if this is for me." And I felt horrible. I was like, "Is it me?" And then the other time was the other scene partner. He was just not. We just weren't connecting, and I wasn't feeling it at all. And he was the one who was just like, "I'm just not getting hard. I'm not, I'm just not." But I really want to do the scene. And I kind of like looked at Jason Mark, the director who's been on this show, and I was just like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. So they killed the scene. They gave him $100. They drove him to a bus stop and came back and just filmed me do a jack off scene.
Oh my God.
It hurts. It hurts like when that happens.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories like that?
I mean, we
Like,
left on good. I mean, it didn't.
You finished the scene.
We finished.
Did you
it.
both come?
Yeah.
Okay.
We,
good.
I mean, like we. Actually, I think he faked. I know they wanted us to come in like the last like group 4-way thing that we did.
Okay.
And I think he was trying to not. I think he was trying to get out of having to come.
Yes.
So I think he was like a little upset that he really had to.
We
for that one.
have you. I feel like this has come up on this show before, but have you found, since you've been doing more studio work than I have lately, that studios have been less insistent?
They're happy most of the time to let people fake come.
But there has to be cum as long as it's fake.
Yeah. They'll do a fake cum shot
What?
or a fake breed.
Oh, well, I mean,
Or-
the fake breed is the obvious choice.
Yeah.
Like, that is very obvious. You can do that anytime you want. You can do, I mean, like, I actually did that in like my personal sex life recently.
but then they've got to shoot some fake cum up someone's butt, and like it has to kind of has to like ooze out.
Wow. Sorry for whoever
A cream pie.
whoever we're destroying the fantasy of porn and the creation of porn
We've
right
said
now.
that before.
But I mean, like, I feel like it is becoming more common. And I've been doing this since 2013, and I've seen like a variety of different methods for how to show fake cum.
Yeah.
The most elaborate one was the filling the condom with Cetaphil and poking a hole at the end and squeezing it underneath.
Oh.
Yeah, that one was that was Tony DeMarco.
Well, that's condom days, so that doesn't happen anymore.
God, don't you miss condoms? Said
Remember
no
the
one
good old
ever.
days? Make America condom again.
Golly.
Thank God.
Okay. All right. So that was
no,
your Severance shoot.
But there's also the fake cum shot where the most elaborate one that I think the most elaborate one is the one where like someone's behind a couch with a pump and with a tube that goes underneath the guy's balls and like up along his shaft, and he's just kind of hiding it with his hand, and it squirt, and they're like boop, pump and squirt.
That's insane. It must look so fake.
Yeah.
And is
it's
it
like,
always?
It's totally like Wile E. Coyote, like hiding behind a rock with a fucking TNT pump.
That's hilarious. And what do they fill it with? Spunk lube or Cetaphil? I feel like those are always the two things.
I think it's called Coom, like K-U-M.
It's a product specifically designed for this problem.
Yeah, it's like a powder, and they have to mix it.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
And is it made for porn shoots?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, clearly there's an industry for this. Coom. For when you're
Magna cum
for
laude.
when your models just can't do the deed. I mean, like we've said this before.
Don't want to sit there for 2 hours
Yeah.
while your model tries to come?
And I never do. Nobody does. It's literally the worst. There was one time I filmed a men.com 4-way where it was 4 of us, and the biggest star on set, I'm not going to name names, he's a lovely person, I've worked with him many times, and he's done fine. He just could not get there, and we were all waiting. Trenton Ducati was behind the camera, and like it was just like the 3 of us had already done, and we were standing in position waiting for him to get out of the bathroom, and then he would come out and he would try, and he'd be like shake his head and he'd go back. And at one point he came out, and this was like 90 minutes of waiting.
Yeah.
Literally in position with cameras on us, lights on us. We are sweating. And like at one and I had really connected with one of my other scene partners in that scene. And at some point we just locked eyes, and I just kind of kept stroking my dick. And like this other, the problematic one in question, like he just kind of wasn't, he was just like in his head getting there. And I locked eyes with, his name was Curtis Wolf, the one that I was connecting with. We had both already finished. We had such good chemistry. I locked eyes with him, and I just kind of kept stroking. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm doing this for me. Worked myself up back to a boner. And like, I started getting there, I'm making the faces, and I like look over at Trenton, and Trenton's like all bored with his camera, and he looks down at my dick and he goes, oh my God. And like I could see he get excited. He puts the camera back up and goes back right on my dick, and I immediately come second time in the scene. I was so proud of myself. That's the only time that's ever happened. I am not a 2-time comer on camera usually.
I have a story like that too when I shot with Alex Meekum in Montreal. I did a scene for Fast and Furious is the name of the movie, and it's a really good scene. And our director was the lesbian director.
Okay.
That's like what she goes by. I'm not calling her
the lesbian
the
director.
Okay.
Okay.
So it just took him a really long time to come, and I had already come. So while I was sitting there watching him watch porn on his phone, stroking, I got turned on again, and by the time he came and ran over and came in my mouth, she could see that I was going to come again, and so she like tilts the camera down, and then I bust for a second time.
How long did he take?
I'd say it was a good 30 minutes, maybe.
You know why I'm asking you this question?
I knew going into it that Oh, was it?
Busted. It was Alex. I love Alex. I
love
really
him so
do.
much.
And
No,
like I've
yeah.
worked with him before where it's worked and it's been fast, but for some reason that day he was just not getting there, and it was 90 minutes.
I had heard that before, that he takes a while.
That's crazy that we both had this experience with the same person.
I know. That's
Wow.
crazy.
I was
wonder
trying
if
to be
anybody
respectful.
else- I wonder-
well. It's okay. It happens.
It's okay, but speaking of men.com legends, I got to shoot with a 3-way with Malik Delgado and William Seed recently.
Wow. Okay. So, I've never met these people. I've heard of them. I know Malik has a huge following.
Yeah.
Huge.
I ran into
following.
him at the Pornhub Awards.
Is he straight?
Yes.
But he's like a huge gay film star.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good for him. William Seed is one of those where like he's so good looking.
Yeah, he's like a giant 240-pound.
Is he big in person?
Yeah.
I can't tell when I see. He looks like he could be like
He's
5'8"
huge.
and just
William
stocky.
Seed is really little.
Oh, that's what I mean.
But he looks big on camera.
He doesn't. He looks thick, but he looks short to me.
I can see that, but oh god,
He's hot,
it
huh?
was so hot. I shot a 3-way with them, and then William and I shot another duo in the shower.
Hot.
And he let me fuck him too.
What? I didn't know he did that.
I didn't either.
Oof.
But there we were. I was eating his ass, and he was like, I stood up, and I was kind of like slapping his ass with my dick. And
Is he
was
straight
like,
too?
He was like, put it in. I think I don't want to speak to anyone's
Okay,
sexuality,
sure,
but
sure.
I had
Sorry.
I had heard he'd had boyfriends before, but I'd also heard he was straight. So
I
I
can see
just
that.
figured he's bi, and I don't really give a shit.
Does he do the jackhammer? I've seen him do some jackhammer scenes, which is not my favorite. I have to say, I don't like a jackhammer fuck.
Yeah,
Did he do that to you? Do you like getting jackhammered?
I was just
And for the moms, by the jackhammer, you can
Jackhammer.
imagine what I mean.
Yeah.
Like just like really
use
fast,
your imagination,
fast fucking.
moms. Use your imagination.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was just so happy being spit roasted by them.
By these two huge, beautiful stars.
yeah,
Is
it's
Malik
like-
very good looking? I don't remember what he looks
is.
like.
I've
Okay.
shot with him before, and on the same Montreal trip that I.
Gotcha.
But it was just for our own content.
I know William lives in Montreal. Does
He
Malik
does
as
too.
well?
Yeah, they both. do.
Oh, okay.
So,
I don't think
that's
I
why.
realized
Yeah,
that.
I was like, so I ran into Malik at the Pornhub Awards at Saddle Ranch like the week before that.
Okay.
And he was like, William Seed's coming to town. We should do something. And I was like,
Damn.
I'm there. Tell me when and where
Yeah.
to be.
Well done. Wow. And you got paid for that shoot.
No.
Oh, that was a content shoot.
No, that was a content
Oh,
shoot.
gotcha. I thought it was.
They had
men.com,
had like an Airbnb downtown, and actually Michael Boston came and he filmed me with them, and I filmed him with them.
Hot.
It was a long night.
Wow, that takes some stamina.
I know. I was like, Malik wanted to do another duo too, and I was like, I'm done. Sorry. I was like, I can't.
You turned down a duo shoot with Malik Delgado because you were tired.
He also had to take his girlfriend to the airport, so I would have had to
cancel.
wait for him to get back.
You're like, okay, I gotta go home.
Like, I'm
Sorry,
done.
I
was
have
like,
I
got
have
there-
standards.
I got there at 6 p.m. I was like, by 9:30, I was not doing anymore.
Yeah, that's a long evening.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, not many people can say they had the chance to turn down somebody with 1 million followers on their
Well,
Twitter.
I got a 3-way with him and William. I think that's enough.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah. And you can
And
be like, next time when you're in town
Next time, yeah. Anyway, I was
Hit me
like,
up.
No hard feelings.
Well done. All right, we're burning through this conversation.
I know.
I feel like you had some other travels to discuss. Yes.
I went to Puerto Vallarta.
and you were there for like a while.
I got there on Thursday to Wednesday. It was almost a week.
Okay.
Thursday to Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
I was staying at a content house provided by Choice Management.
Lovely.
Chris goes. So I was in there with like Maddie West and Sumner and Cody, who also have a podcast.
Oh.
They have a newish podcast that they shoot here too.
Oh.
I can't
Do they live in
remember
LA?
Sumner and Cody?
Yeah. I've heard these people's names. They're a couple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What is their podcast about?
I can't. It's probably like ours.
I see.
I don't know, but Anyway, I was there for the International Content Creator Awards, which is a new award created by Jordan Starr and his husband.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything. I saw a creator that was like upset about anybody who went to support these awards.
Why?
Apparently there's some problematic behavior on the part of Jordan's husband.
Okay.
So I'm spilling tea right now, but I don't
hear
know.
that.
I don't know the tea that. I don't know what the tea is. So I'm just saying, I have heard it a couple times though.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just as far as like overusing models or like trying to get more out of them than they signed up for, something like that. I don't know. I thought maybe you would have some information because you pay attention to stuff like that more than I do.
Maybe less than unusual.
Maybe.
I have heard of this person. I don't know enough to say.
Yeah.
Especially to the world.
So obviously, so for someone to go on and be like, unfollow me, I'm unfollowing anybody that went to these awards, blah blah blah.
Wow.
But I don't know why. So
sounds like the Woody Allen of the porn world.
Maybe.
Don't support abusive people.
I don't know. So
Well, how was the show?
It was fine. I mean, I didn't win anything. I think I was up for favorite daddy or something, which LeGrand Wolf won.
Of course, he always wins that award.
Jackie Cox was hosting it and presenting all the awards. They asked me to present an award at the reception the day before, and I was like, yeah, sure. But then nobody was presenting awards except for Jackie Cox, so I was just kind of stayed there in my seat, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. It makes me look like I want attention.
Okay.
So that was a little weird. But
sounds like it was a first-time event.
Yeah,
They're probably working out the kinks a little bit.
Probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, was it a fun week?
It was fun. I did a gangbang that I'm gonna put out on my birthday. On my
You were
pages.
the star of this gangbang?
Yes,
Of course.
and it's like
Sex Witch.
in a fountain in the house that we were in,
Wow.
with a half inch of water, but it's that's the floor. And then there's a fountain. So I'm sure it looks very beautiful. It's very uncomfortable. But, yeah, I got fucked in that fountain.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good one. I did a scene on the beach with someone. There was a long staircase behind the house down to this beachy area that was not a sand beach, but where the water is crashing against the rocks, and it's a pretty setting.
Yeah.
And I don't love doing outdoor stuff, outdoor sex, because it's just too sunny and it's too hot and there are bugs down there and there are crabs, and it just was not a fun experience.
Crabs.
They're literal crabs walking around.
Wow.
On the rocks.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, but I did. So I was gonna do a 3-way with Maddie West and Alex Gons, I think, on the last day, and Maddie wanted to do it down at that beach that I had shot at the day before, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm out if you guys want to do it down there.
Yeah.
And we worked it out where it's kind of a two-parter. So Alex and Maddie fuck on the beach in the direct hot sunlight, and then I'm kind of on the staircase watching them and jerking off, and then kind of wave them up and then we walk up the stairs and continue in a shadier area.
Yes. Smart.
So, that'll be a hot scene too. I got to see Adam Snow, who I hadn't seen in a long time.
The beautiful, sexy Adam Snow.
Did a 3-way with him and Tacos de Pastor. Do you know who that is?
I beg your pardon? This is a person?
Just look him up. Yeah, his name's Hugo, but Tacos de Pastor.
Some of these new boys with their creative names, it's very funny to me.
I'm that's a food.
Yeah. I mean, you remember when we had Troy Daniels on the show, he had worked recently with somebody who went by Go Fuck Yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Or Go F Yourself.
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice. Okay. Creative. Tacos de pastor.
Call
Okay.
me old-fashioned, but I like a good first and last name.
You know, I mean, branding is branding, I guess. We're in that age.
It's just like, how do you introduce someone as a food? Hi, here's
Or a
tacos.
phrase.
Hi.
Yes.
This is my friend Tacos.
This is Go F Yourself. Go F Yourself. Please meet Adam Snow. Okay. Well, Adam Snow is, he's bald, bearded, fit, big wiener.
Big ol' wiener.
Love those. Love that combination.
He and Tacos DP'd me.
He did. They
They
did.
did.
Oh, that's exciting.
That was the first thing I shot, too, I think.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you were ready for anything after that.
I was ready. So, I
Yes.
wanted to ask you,
Oh,
since I've been talking about myself the whole time,
yes.
let's do a little kiss and tell.
Another round of kiss and tell, huh?
And you have to do, I have one, but you can give me three.
Okay, let me see. Where should I start? Well, first of all, the only travel that I had recently was my yearly travel to Tennessee to my special
Yes.
ferry camping trip.
You're off grid.
Yes, I had my phone in my tent for 6 whole days.
At least you couldn't lose it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had such a good time. It was so wonderful. It's a very, it's something I don't really like to publicize. It's something that is very subculture. I don't talk about it a lot, but I have talked about it on this podcast because I meet so many interesting people, and it's just such a beautiful event and a beautiful space. And the final party that happens there, we just had such a wonderful time. It was like the little family I'd created there was like 10 of us,
Okay.
and I was very much the dad / mom / leader of the pack.
You're like that, though.
I am like that, especially lately, but like it just happened so organically. I took with me 5 people, including my boyfriend who was there for his second time, and then 4 newbies, and then we met with 4 other people who became part of our team, and we just had so much fun. And I got to play with fire. I had fire. They like literally fire in my hands.
Fire spinning.
There was fire spinning. I learned how to crack a whip, which is, I've never felt more confident or sexy in my life. And everyone's asshole gaped when they saw me do it, which is really fun. Very much living my Indiana Jones fantasy.
Yes.
And then also somebody kind of taught us how to play with butane bubbles in our hands. So
What's a butane bubble?
They made soapy water with butane in it. So what you do is you hold it out out in front of you, away from your face, and then they light it on fire. So you literally have a fireball.
How long does it burn?
It lasts about a few seconds before you start to feel the heat,
Okay.
and then you have to kind of like smush it together so that it puts it out.
Does anyone spit fire?
There was spitting fire. There was like this one.
Don't spit on Gage Palmer.
This one trans girl who was hanging out with us was showing us how to do this, and like she would put like the butane down her leg and then light it on fire, and it would just be this like strip of fire going down her leg. Oh, wow. Anyway,
No hair on your legs.
no, I mean you ought not.
Yeah.
But we ended the most special moment of that was I had been kind of orchestrating this meeting between my boyfriend and one of my friends I had made on this trip. And in the middle of the night, underneath the stars, on a blanket in an open knoll, we DP'd my boyfriend while people watched, and it was just, and like, you hear a story like this and you think it's gonna be like, oh fuck yeah, that's hot, but instead it was like so sweet and like loving, and it was like we were all just like so in love with each other, and everybody was like, you guys are so cute, DPing him in the middle of the grass, like
Just in the grass.
it was so special and so sexy, and I had a wonderful time, and it feels like a dream that it even happened. I have memories of it, and I'm just like, I can't believe this happened. It just feels like these little flashes of a dream. But that was my travels. That was my DP in nature moment.
Wow. You're like, I just see like if you're in the grass, like, oh, it looks like we got to. Oh, it's just mud.
There were a lot of mud jokes on this trip. And I'll just leave it at that. But you know me. I mean, we've talked about this. You're like not into, outdoor like butt sex.
I feel like it's like there's got to be a comfortable way to do it.
I mean, you just make sure you're cleaned out, and
We did it. I mean, It's more I just don't deal with temperatures that are like, if it's too hot or too cold, even like in an indoor shoot, like I'm just
Of course.
can we just get it to a manageable temperature?
Yes.
Where like I'm not dripping sweat or freezing.
Yes. Well, this was like at 4 a.m. on what happened to be a very nice night.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then especially because, we'd had really good weather that entire time. And then the day after this beautiful party where we like stayed up till the sunrise, then that day, literally it rained for like the next day and a half.
And you're not.
So we were very lucky. And
you're not filming and performing.
No, this was just for us. This was just for who was around. But I do need to pick up filming. Like I'm feeling, I've said before, like I do it in waves.
Yeah.
I feel a wave coming. I feel like I'm going to be a lot better about scheduling this summer and beefing up my content. And so that's one.
I came back from PV and I was like, no filming. I'm taking at least a week off.
Okay. A week.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's hard to do in LA because people come through here all the time and they're like, they reach out.
Yeah.
And you're like, I should, because I'm not going to get another chance for a while.
Yes.
So that ends up happening to me a lot. But this time I was like, I'm absolutely not. I was like, my mental health needs a break. Like, I just felt really off for like the first 3 days.
Yeah.
Like all weekend.
Right.
And all I did was like work and stay by myself and give massages, and like that's kind of how I like decompressed.
Yeah.
And like I got on Grindr, and this guy I've talked to on and off for a little while, who has the prettiest dick. He's up there close to my new favorite dick.
Wow, to JP Matthews.
He's got some competition.
Fat, uncut, a solid 8 inches.
It was cut though. But it was, I think, 9.
Oh, wow.
And a nice curve.
Is
that
he
just like hit it well?
Is he local?
He's local.
and what's his phone number?
He came over and just like fucked me very nicely, gently, like lots of eye contact.
Love it.
I was like, it's so nice to just like have someone fuck me without like without performing and without jackhammering me also.
Yeah.
And like be very attentive. He was like looking at me, and he could like he was reading the signals. He was like looking at my face and like, how's that? You like that?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
I was like, this is what I needed.
Yeah.
And I felt a lot better after.
Yeah.
And then,
cool.
And then I was like, oh, what are your plans for the weekend? And he's like, oh, my boyfriend's coming back in town. We're doing family stuff. I'm like, damn it.
Oh.
Like, have fun with your boyfriend then.
I mean, it means nothing.
I know.
Why, are you looking for love these days, Cole Connor?
Maybe I am.
Maybe. I mean, just be open, I suppose.
Maybe I need someone.
Yeah, as long as they have not 9-inch fatty like this guy who reads the signals. All right, so back to me.
He understands me.
Yeah. Back to me. I had something actually last night that was, I feel like all my stories are really feelsy lately. My next one won't be. Okay, so last night I had somebody over who I have known since 2008, 2009. And we've always been kind of an acquaintance, but there's always been this unspoken chemistry between us. And we'll run into each other over the years, but nothing will ever happen. And, so like we've been kind of messaging each other, and like it was just kind of like, I was just very forward. He was like, should we go? It was one of those things like, you want to go for dinner sometime? I'm like, honey, no. I don't want to go for dinner.
You don't want to go on a date?
Why don't you come over?
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 17 years. Why don't you just come over? And he like didn't answer for a few months, and then finally, he saw a post of mine, and was just like, you know what? Okay, I'm coming over. And it just kind of happened last night. And he came over, and he looks almost nothing like the person he was when I met him, in our 20s. And like now he's in his mid 40s, and he's just like he's like George Clooney'd the fuck out right now. Like he's just aged like the finest wine.
What's his number?
Exactly. Well, that's the thing too. He came in and like it was just like we ended up in my bedroom very quickly. Turns out he has a beautiful big one, but he also bottoms. And like we kind of like started very gently, but then it started getting a lot more like playful, and like it was just kind of nice to fuck around with someone in my age group where the chemistry is right.
Yeah.
Reading the signals, and like I don't know if this is going to sound silly, but it had been a minute since I'd had a big one.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of like forgot sometimes.
Forgot how good it is.
Sometimes like a really big one just hits the spot literally.
Sometimes
does
a
the
really
trick.
big one is easier to take than like a sharp
it depends,
pointy
but
one.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Sorry to all the short.
Oh my god.
the
Sorry
short,
to all our
pointy
our
ones.
short pointy dick kings. No, it's it was just nice. It was just like this little momentary thing that I was just like, wow, yeah, that was really nice. Thank you so much for coming over. You live 10 minutes away? Oh, amazing. Cool. Well, we've broken the seal. Took 17 years, but
Hey, it probably paid off to wait.
it was very nice. So that was
but
the story.
also, I think the moral of both of our stories are read the fucking signals.
Read the signals. Yes.
I have one more actually.
Please.
Because speaking of legends, actually the first thing I filmed in PV was Ruslan Angelo.
Yes.
And he was over there. He had just filmed something with Cody and Sumner. And I was like, who is that? Like, oh my God, he's so hot. Because he always looks fucking different every time I see him.
Oh,
And
really?
like, he's been around for like 10 years,
Okay.
right? And I'm like, always either like different hair, blonde, buzzed, something like that.
Sure.
And we just really like, he was very flirty with me. Like, we were both very into each other. I was like, let's just film something now. We had one of the other guys just film us and bent him over the railing and fucking went to town on him, and it was so hot. Ugh.
This was off camera?
No,
It was on
we
camera.
filmed it.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
right.
I did a Twitter. I posted a little.
I got to look that up. This is a
Little
name I've been
peek, a
hearing
sneak.
about for years, and I don't think I've ever met him.
Oh my God, he's he's got it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
He's a
Okay.
legend.
All right. So my last one, you said I had 3, so I had one more. My last one is I've told you I've kind of been on this like celebrity kick lately, like just pulling celebrity trade. I love when that happens.
Name him.
I'm not no
Name
no
him. Name him.
no Sutton. Won't be naming him, but this time this was a 60+ bottom.
Oh.
Who I got with. This has been, something I've been kind of teasing for a little while. Very nice man, very established, doing well. He's been kind of like working me for a while. And this time I was like, you know what? I'm going to go over there. Why not? I have a night off. I'm going to go say hello to this person. And I usually the 60+ guys I've been with have been more toppy.
Tops, yeah.
Yeah. And it's only happened a handful of times. This guy was like bottom. Like he was just like, fuck me. And like, I kind of like, I had to warm up to it, and I was just kind of getting into it. But then once we got to the bedroom, his butthole was so responsive. Like this was an experienced person. And like, it was just like, it was making movements I've never seen before. And it was
trained.
Just, and he was like, I would fuck him and he would just quiver. And he's like, oh my, like said he was having anal orgasms. And then like, I turned into a feral monster and like practically got my hand up in him. And I was just like, and I was a little nervous and like so my boner was being a little moody, but every time I needed to get worked up again, I would just bury my face up in it and it would work every time.
Burying your face in a hole always snaps you right back to attention.
Well, especially because like every asshole is a snowflake. Like they're all very different. And this one, like,
was it a slit or a circle?
It was more of a circle, and it was like
Is yours a slit or a circle?
I don't know how to answer that. I feel like it's both at
Everyone's is
different
a
times.
slit or a
But
circle.
sometimes they're like, little, and sometimes they're big, and like
Yeah.
he had like a big butthole, and it was like,
Because he had muscle in there.
I mean, I guess I had a blast. I'm maybe this is a little crass, but it was just fun to like tap into that side with like a demographic that I'm not used to.
Right.
Try a 60 plus bottom, y'all. They
know what they're doing.
If you like buttholes, and I certainly do. All right, we're pretty much wrapping up. We have to get out of here. That was Kiss and Tell 2.0. That was such a fun conversation. Yeah, it was fun.
I didn't. Next time, I'm gonna have to tell you about the rest of my string of bad luck.
Indeed,
there were two other things.
Oh God, because that's what people want to hear.
They want to hear
the decline. No, they wanted to hear about the Cole Connors Spring Spectacular.
Well, the thing is, there's always ups and downs.
Always,
just
it's true.
like boners.
You're right.
Life is a boner.
Life is a boner.
Life is a moody boner.
Life is a moody boner. Well, stay tuned for our next episode. We've got Judas King. I'm so excited to talk to him. He's one of my dear friends, and he's got a very interesting story.
And a very nice ass.
I mean, the booty. Judy with the big booty is what we call her.
Judy.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching at home. Thank you, Cole Connor.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Adam Ramsey.
I'm Cole Connor.
This has been Sorry for Asking.
Bye.
See you next time.
This has been Sorry for Asking. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, stay sexy.